Hey, I found this box of carnage hiding over there on the other side of the workbench. This is always fun to see, so we can see what happened with the old engine. This is the rear main bearing cap, and it goes in there like this. So this would have been the back of the block, right? And then this is our middle main bearing cap, and it went on like this, downward. And so you can see here, the crank came forward, so it's moving to that way, and destroyed that. And then this is the front main bearing cap, goes right on there like this, and that's where from the crank moving forward and destroying not only the block but these main bearing caps. And the reason that that's so important is because this is the one that has the one with the flanges, the thrust bearings, and this is from a different engine. But what we can see here is that the flanges, these are the flanges. This is what's left of it. So that is some major carnage. Those would have fit on here, you know, like that. And the thrust flange is just completely destroyed. That's some real carnage right there. And the rod bearings are significantly misshaped and flaking off the sides, so down to some of the colored metal that you shouldn't be seeing. You know, this is more what it should look like, an old one. So let's go look at the back of the block quick. Oh, while we're here, I went ahead and got a salvage part for this. Is the governor. So when this spins, the balls fly out, and we're missing a little tang here. So it still worked, but went ahead and got a salvage part so that tang is there. And these are safety wires. A tractor engine has these to like hold the bolts still in place, and they wire from the bolts to other bolts and holds everything in place. We'll get into that when we get there. But let's go look at the block and show you why it's ruined. So I flipped it over here, and you can see here the crank getting into the back here. This is that middle cap, and then the front one. Shouldn't look anything like that. Those are all rough, and so you put that main bearing here, there's nothing behind it because this has been ground away and wouldn't have lasted. So that's the carnage. So here we go with the rod bearings. We're gonna put these main bearing caps on hopefully today, and I'm gonna try to plastic gauge at least one. And we've got our oversized rod bearings. They are what do you call this, 10,000ths bigger than standard, because the crank has been machined down on the rod journals to make it smooth. You know, when they get boogered up, they machine this down, make it smaller, and so the bearing has to be bigger to make up that gap. And so when we plastic gauge it, we're just going to make sure that the clearance, all those clearances are correct, and we actually have the right bearing to fit in correctly. And that's what we did with the main bearing cap. I took this to and showed it to Glenn at the machine shop, and he said, yeah, 3,000ths, that's pretty decent. And as you go up in this gauge, this would be smaller and smaller clearances. So 1,000ths would be, you know, as small as this gauge kit goes. But 3,000ths, he said, was Roger Dodger. So let's go ahead and see if we can get into this. So we'll take our bearings out. Okay, so let's take a look here. They don't seem to matter top, bottom. So our first step, now what I've done is we're going to take these and press fit Actually, see the tang here has to go with the notch into the bottom of the rod here. Make sure I look down so I'm not looking through my bifocals or whatever. And so this has to be pressed in. And you could have done this before, you know, when you were loading the piston in, this would already be in the rod, but we got our hands, we can get our hands in there. I should be able to press it in, and we're looking for the oil galley hole to line up. So that's all we're doing, and I'm going to reach around and hold the piston while I try to drop it into place. There's our notch, so try to get it flush here, and then press. That went in nice. Okay. So let's see, I think I'll just do one at a time, and if we're going to plastic gauge this first one, then what we're continuing. Okay, so that went in nice, and what we're going to do is just try to get the rod where we need it, and then rotate the piston toward it, and we can come up with the piston, I said, there we go, so that's mating to the bottom of the crank there. Let's go over here, and this is our number 1. These are numbered, remember? I tried to scratch a new number 1 in the bottom of this one, because that came from salvage. It was not savable, so you can see 2, 3, a little dirty, and 4. And we'll just take this guy and press it the same way. Get the tang in, the notch, and then just press it in. There we go, and then the torquing should help us get it the rest of the way. Nothing left but to do this, and of course I don't have the socket. Whoops, that's putting that in backwards. Of course I don't have the socket to do this, so we gotta go get that, unless it's by luck. Ooh, look at that. Same. Okay. Let's take her over. These have these safety locks on here. So that wants to be on the outside. This one, the safety lock's bent up, but we want it out there. Ooh, look at that. That bolt is no good. Luckily we got spares. You can see here the the lock washer on that one is really fancy. I don't know why it's got so much going on with it, but yeah, that's a better bolt for us. We'll use that. All right, now we got to try to line this up. So this one, I would feel better if I had a flashlight handy to tell me that I could see this. But we want the numbered sides to line up or not. So I think the numbered side here is on that side, and this guy looks like this. So we're going to just drop her in. Oh, you know, if we're going to plastic gauge it, we need a piece of plastic gauge. So let's see how long the video is going to last on us, but should have had some of this set up. Our video is going to end, so see you next round. Well, enough by Script Garage. It's Derek, my idol, who started it all, right? We are ready to get back now that my glasses are charged again. So I took this back apart a little bit because I didn't lube it. Now, what I've decided is that we gotta assemble this, and so that I can put all of them on and rotate it before I can plastic gauge it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of lube on there. This is the one we're going to plastic gauge, so I'm not going to put a ton. But get something on there. Something. Okay, and we'll go ahead and... Now these, I've inserted the bearings into each cap. And we can go ahead and apply some lube there. This one we're just gonna do a smidge because we're gonna plastic gauge that. I gotta wipe it off anyway. Put too much on these guys. Too much. That one actually got way too much. So whatever. I will say that the back side of these, like underneath the bearing, you want that real dry. I mean, I'm just paranoid about spinning a bearing. So what I did is, each one of these guys, the rods that were in there, you know, last time we had the thing upside down, we were putting pistons in it, lots of lube, right? And some of that had drained through, and you can see it on the floor here. I didn't want any of that on the back side of the bearings because, you know, you don't want these lubed, they'll spin. So we're being real careful with that, and we'll just go ahead and... Oh, you know what I was gonna do is I was gonna lock them each as I go. So let's do that. Let's just pause here, and we'll just, when I say lock, I meant just, you know, assemble. Put the bolts in. Don't drop that. Can you not spin? There we go. And just bring these guys to meet each other. Piston up a little bit. Up a little bit. There we go. And again, we got our... This is the non-numbered. As I was saying, non-numbered. What a pain in the butt with these glasses, man. But it gives you the, you know, first person view of what the heck I'm doing. So I think they're kind of cool for that, if nothing else. So I'm just gonna hand tight. Maybe just a smidge past. I'll grab the socket and just do kind of socket tight. Just enough to rotate it around. Geez, and that's going to take up the whole video, but whatever. Okay. Room for a socket? Yeah. Almost wearing out the hand there. There we go. Okay, and then I think I'll move to this one since it's in the same position. So we'll take our bearing, line up the notch. God, I could use my glasses. Let me get them. Bifocal mode. Ooh, so I can get in there a little bit better. Just trying to get the tang. There we go. Now I can press it this way. So I'm getting that tang right there. There we go. Put some lube on. Drop me some lube. Hello. Drop me some lube on there. Now we're going to do number 4, so we make sure we got a 4 right there. 4. She's kind of straight-ish. And we'll do like we did with the other. Just push the piston up a bit. There we go. So these guys meet. And again, Now we're going to need the flashlight. There we go. We at least want the numbers to line up, so is that the numbered side? I believe that is. That says 4. We'll drop our 4, so we got 4 and 4. Lining up. Geez, this is a little... This guy wants to not be so hand doable. I'm going to have to fight with that little lock washer on there to get the tang to be where we want it. I can tell once we get to that step. For now, we're just going to get them all kind of hand tight and rotatable. And then we'll come back and plastic gauge this. It don't matter which one we plastic gauge, I guess. We could do the last one. That'd be fine. I just figured we did the front, do the front, I don't know. Whatever. Don't need to obsess on that. Now, okay. I can go to the other side of the engine and do these a little bit. Okay. So yeah, what I was trying to say is I did put some brake cleaner on here with a rag and make sure that there's no oil residue on there on all those. So let's go ahead and let's just do one by one so we're careful. Get the hand in there. This is one of those times where I'm blessed with, as Vigiano, my big neighbor, would say, Big Rob, Lilliputian. Lilliputian hands, he called me. If somebody needed to get underneath the dash or whatever to work on his classics, it was me. Let's see, now we should be able to rotate this thing over there to meet it. Yeah, there we go. Come on, get that, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and put that in and then we'll spin it. Since the crank will then be kind of blocking us. Dropping it in. Moving it over a little bit. Get the tang in there. That one I can feel it want to rotate a little bit. There we go. Let me feel it. Okay, now we're going to kind of bring this guy around into position so that we can get this to push up. Oops, lube, stop. Okay, get it back out of the way. Well, they got a little bit harder to move once. Now we're moving pistons up and down. Get that on there. Get it on there. Now, got those juiced. Now, move her around so Gotta push this up to meet. They gotta meet, so they're happy. There we go. A little bit like that. Come on up. Huh. Come on up. What are we doing? How far are we gonna go here? That is not stuck. What are we rubbing on? Oh, here. See that? That guy just needs to slide a little bit, so let's stop. We need to push down the piston and get that to walk over a little bit. That's all that was getting hung up. There we go. Just keep going. And push this guy up. There we go. Now that one didn't bind or anything on us. Okay, what do we got? Numbers. Let me verify. So, the first one's the only one I didn't do the numbers facing us, and I don't know that it matters, so hopefully it don't. Continue. Didn't bring my socket. This one's not fighting. Really exciting video, eh? Watch Cross screw in bolts. Wow. Hopefully you're working on something. Okay. Number. It would have been nice to get new ones of these, so they're not boogering around with me. Why do I keep setting the socket? Okay. Why do you realize this one's up so high? Is that just the piston? One needs to come up. There it is. Okay, my hands are all greasy. And can I get this socket in there? Not really. Fight a little bit more at the hand tight. Oh, you know what? These aren't, we didn't plastigauge, but let's assume that I'm going to get these up there. And then, okay, just consulting the book. So it says lubricate new big end shell bearings. I don't know what big end is. While noting the small notch, yeah. And that aligns to the oil feed hole, which we've done. Lubricate the gun, that lubricates the wrist pin. And then here's our torque spec, 50 to 55 foot-pounds. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go over here and plastigauge this one. I've rotated it around so these are right up in our face. And we're going to do that one. So when I took this back off, even just doing it hand tight, you can see the lube there. And it had squirted through that little hole onto the back. And I'm really not happy with that because, like I said, I don't want lube on the back side. So, I might take all those back off and take the lube off the bottom rod bearing so that we don't get squeegees on the onto the back side. But let's go ahead and plastic gauge this thing, see if we can get her done in this video. Probably not. Okay, here's our little bitty piece of plastic gauge. Oh, and this has to be wiped free of oil. Got our grease off of there. And we want to lay it somewhere where that oil journal isn't. Yeah, a little too long. I wonder if we could just snap that off. There we go. Get that out of there. Alright. Get it to stay there. So we got it laying there. And this one's got the numbers on this side, so we just put our cap on there. Come back with these guys. Start on them. Got the torque wrench staged over there. Looks like I left it with torque on it for a week. That's why we got that electric backup. Okay, we're doing this guy. Torque wrench. And yep, that's not a good thing. Can't remember what I was building, but I had this thing. So we're gonna put this thing to 60 foot-pounds. And then check it with our digital. And that'll happen before we know it. That's not all that tight. Okay, so now we gotta go over here. And I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this one up to get her closer. There we can say that one's starting to take some torquage. $20. Just creep it up on it. Okay, so now we're getting into our 30, 40, and 50. And I think I'll take back around. $55. She clicks. We'll go ahead and do 55. Boy, that doesn't, wish the socket seated better. There we go. 55.7. Where are we clicking? There we go. Said 57. Let's do both sides then. 55, 56. Alright, we're not going to get there, so 57. Well, and then we take it back off. We don't need that. Only 55, dude. Why are you grunting? Oh no, see, I don't like that. I want that seat better. Now you'll give me L for banging on that when I'm plastic gauging. Okay, oop. There she is. We got most of it came with the bearing. Let's see what we got. It's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, so we got like a 2 thousandths. Do you see that? If I get in there and check the taper. I'm looking through my bifocals. I gotta remember to look down so you can see it better. But yeah, I'd say we got a good 2 thousandths across the board ish. Maybe a little more. It's kind of between 15 and 1.5 and 2 thousandths. Pretty good read. Okay. So I will try to make sure all these washers are not going to give me hell when I'm doing them. And take those, the conrods, or sorry, the caps that are on here, and dry off the bottom side, because I don't want that lube to get in the back. That's a bummer, but that's what I feel is going to be good. And clean the plastic gauge off of here, of course. So you can see what I'm doing here. These I don't want my socket to be fighting the seat, or this washer to fight the seat of the socket as I'm tightening these. So I'm just making a little jig here to, and when I take them, I'm going to smash them in between, pound it on them with the hammer, and just to flatten it, get it out of the way. And then bent the tab down so that it's in position to lock in, and I'm going to just put that in the position that it needs to be so it's not trying to spin, you know, when we're tightening it. So hopefully that's going to work. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one right here that we've got the lube taken off of. Oops, got the plastic gauge on there still. I don't think plastic gauge would hurt too much, but see if we can get it off easy. There we go. Should just kind of crumble off. We're taking all of our video time to do this. Okay. Alright. And we do want... No, we're not going to lube it. Boy. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to let, as we spin, to get on the outside after torquing. So, once again, numbered side to numbered side. Drop her down. And hopefully our lock tangs on these then will just stay out of the way. So tedious. I'm going to have to do that to each one of those washers. Oops, my glasses are falling on. So that's tedious. Oops, and it's spinning too. Well, there's that. How much does it want to spin? I guess it's okay if it's over there. Okay. Now we do need our torque rig. Now let me spin them on. And I think I can trust the click on my torque wrench now. We kind of verified that she's the clicking at the proper torquage. Video is going to end. Well, I guess we'll get going again. Put the old fake barley pop down and give a bow to Derek. And we'll see if we can get her done. Now, I took all the caps off and wiped behind to get the grease out from behind the lower bearing cap, behind the lower bearing. And then I monkeyed with all these little safety washers. Now, this one has a replacement I went ahead and used one of these guys, which is one of our spares, because this guy here got too monkeyed with and started to split, and that's where all of our torque is going, so we don't want a bad washer underneath where we make a torque. So the second thing I did was to take some knocker loose and spray it on each one of these and let it seep into the surfaces. So I'm just going to go for it, and those tabs, they're going to start to turn as I torque these down, but I've got them all on the opposite side of where they're going to rotate. So that's as good as I'm going to do. We'll get her on and trace. We kind of had it on this P-top thing, but our torque wrench should be dialed in pretty well. So we're just going to go and do them all. And trust our click, hopefully. Get this one started a little bit. And let's start looking. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and trust my click. Well, maybe not. Let me look. Should. Of course, I don't have my glasses. That's 57. What does it say? Glasses, glasses, glasses. Oh, where'd they go? There we go. Boy, I tell you. The old eyeballs go, and you're going to do this business all the time just to see anything. Okay, here we go. 53. 55. And come on. Should get our click soon. 57. Okay. Now, I'm really in the trusting of that now, so. Oh, look. Our little tabs. Didn't go too far. That's good. It feels like it doesn't want to. Oh, okay. How'd that get so tight? Oh, I already did that one, and then I replaced the washer here, so boy, we gotta be getting there. What are we up to? 57.5. Why am I not getting a click? $58. I'm not going higher. No, I don't trust my click. Okay, there it went. There we go. Let's just see if we get the click, man. Come on, give me the click. 58. I mean, come on. What are we doing? What are you doing? Why won't you click on that one? Oh, look at that tab. Yeah. That's okay if it gets back around here. We can bend her down. Come on. There we go. Back to this one. Okay, the only one that didn't get us a click. Ooh, that got 60. Well, that's the precision that we got, eh? Give us a click. Come on. There we go. Whew. Alright, and we're going to go install that first one with the oil pump. So I'm just reminding myself, 85 to 90 is what we're looking for in the foot poundage. But probably run out of video because I ran into this. Oops, this side. Submerge the oil pump in clear oil and revolve by hand before installing it in the engine. I mean, yeah, we'll just have oil everywhere if we do that. But why not feed it a little bit? So I'm going to do that and stop the video since I'm not ready. But yeah, let me do that. And then we'll tighten these up. And then I'll go back and verify these guys. After that, take the torque back down and verify these again. We just did them, but let's just check everything. And then that will be my stopping point for today. Because we're getting there. You know, then we can start working on this whole business. This is going to be something. We got to align gears and so on. So that will take a while. That'll probably be the next session. Okay, let's get this oil pump ready to go. We got our oil resistant guy here. I'm going to put a little bit of this on these threads. This is going to be the oil pickup. So this will connect from the oil pump to the sump. So that'll go like that, and it'll go into the oil pan. And interesting story, kind of goes with this, coincidentally, is I just bought a 2010 Tahoe, and that has this AFM, active fuel management thing. But anyway, long story short, I had it for one day driving it and had low oil pressure, 20 psi only, when it was warmed up at idle. And that is not gonna do it, man. You know, 20 psi. No, I took it back. I said where we got with it was cost 6 hours of labor. That's getting tight. I'm gonna make it another spin. Yeah. Come on. You're gross. There we go. You want it just right on 90. Back up just a touch. If I can. Anyway, it takes 6 hours of labor to replace an O-ring that goes like basically right here on the oil pickup. And you got to take the oil pan off and everything, lift the engine and nose to get the oil pan out. It wasn't four-wheel drive, but I think you still got to lift the engine. Anyway, he wasn't going to do spend them 5 hours on the labor, and I didn't want to pay $1,000 and just bought the damn thing. So, deal over. There we go. Now, it said submerge it. I'm not going to do that, but we'll feed her a little bit here. Boy, I wish I had a funnel. There we go. We'll feed her a bit. And then where's she going to come out? All over. Do it over the oil pan here. Okay, probably feed her a little bit more. Maybe by the time I get around to starting this thing, probably I'll run out of this, but we're doing it. That's the end of the video for now, I guess. Ooh. There. Starting to sound like it's doing something. Alright, so I primed that thing until it's coming out of this hole, so that took a minute. It's a good thing to do, good practice. So now we'll just pop her down, let the oil run all over the place. How's it go? What am I doing? There it is. Okay, I got our big bolts. This is not going as fast. How quickly can I do it? Change this function back to 90 anyway. Okay, oops, inside. Crank her up to 90, and I think we were doing like 97 or something to get the real deal. Get on there, come on. Put the wrench over there. Of course, I'm all slippery now. Okay. Yep. Well, everything we need is over here. No, the electronicals. Take this guy. What did I say? 90? 90 foot-pounds is what we want. We're going to need some leverage. Okay, it's starting to get something. Okay, let me see the gauge. Okay, now I need to get some more leverage. 80. Oops, 86. Huh. 86 is in the range, you know. Bring it around so you can see it. Okay. Continuing. 87. 87. So that's about 90. 87.7. Ish, whatever. Oh. Oh. Okay, say 90. Now, these guys have a drill hole through them, and that's where that safety wire comes in. Each one of these, and then there's a bolt that goes here and here, and then those get wired to that safety bolt, holds them in place if anything should come loose. But now we're going to adjust the torque wrench and revisit all the rods. So back to, don't you love how they make these so that the cap always splits? What are they doing? Ridiculous. Don't want us to reuse it. I want us to go buy new. What were we doing? 65? Geez, I don't even remember. Might be a new video. That's 70. Gotta go look at the book. Can't remember nothing. Oops. 50. Okay. 50 to 55. Huh. Boy, that seems kind of light. Put that on that oil spot. 55, jeez. We'll put this on. Where's the 60? There. Right? 60, yep. P-top. Oops. Now it would be nice if this was a little straighter. $57. 55. Yeah, okay. Down here. 56. 55. 57. 57. 56, 7, whatever. I gotta bend that tab down. And 56. Okay, she's done and verified. We got her. Frickin' oil pumps finally in there, finally done. That main cap held us up for a while. And now, this is kind of cool. Really, torquing. Moved her around. Can rotate the bottom. See, I'm gonna move around the pistons and see it all in motion. Nothing's binding. Got a nice free motion. Right? All we can hear is the rings. Yeah. Got a nice free motion. Just work her over by hand a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Kind of let everything get in its place. Okay, I was looking through the bifocals. There, it's starting to feel better even. Yeah, alright. That's some goodness. Okay, that's where I'm stopping. Boy, we still got a lot to do. We got the front timing cover. We got the valve train we got to put in. All those lifters and push rods sitting there. Got a lot left, but that's, I think, done for the day. Going to be about 5 o'clock here on a Sunday. Go see what the missus is doing. Okay, Google. Alright, playing with the little stupid safety washers and bending at least one up to hit a flat spot on the bolt. And they thought it was important to put them there, so let's do it. This one's kind of, how do you do this one? B. I don't want to bugger it up. So this one's kind of jacked up already. Come on, come in there. Huh. Give me something here. Come on. Word motion. And there we go. Motion here. This is a little bit jacking around. And you're not going to see this in an automotive engine, you know. This is all tractor. As well as those safety wires. Those are kind of a booger too. So, see if I can bend it up a little bit. Up. So I want to hammer it. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and I did that one already. So, there. We played with the washers except for this one. Whatever, man. I don't want to run into something later and have smashed that and then have to figure it out. So that, it's gonna be the way it is. That's it. End video. Okay, just finished mucking with the tractor engine, and the cows are reminding me they want food. It's that time of year, getting to be fall. They want some grain. Like that stuff right there. You see here, it's getting to be fall. The trees turning orange. Oh, there they are out there standing around. They're gonna come running this way as soon as they know I'm messing with the feed. Come on. Here they come. There they are running. Here comes Curly. Not to be left out. We'll give him a big bunch right on the end there so he doesn't push everybody else out the way. There's our new little chicks. Little chicks, little chicks. They're good looking. Oh, hey, dude. There you go. All right. What are we doing? Watching them eat? What you got to complain about? You get a taste. Can't quite get your neck up there. I've had some sheep, once they learn, they just jump into the trough. Here we go, getting low. Everybody's fighting for the scraps. Well, yeah, it's a little bit of farming. Later.